So, ISIS-K has claimed responsibility for the terrorist attack in Moscow. Who are they and why do they hate Russia? ISIS-K, or as they call themselves, Vilayat Khorasan, is essentially a part of ISIS operating in the historical region suddenly. Yeah, it is named Khorasan. Khorasan is one of the three regions of Central Asia, covering territories of modern-day Iran, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, parts of Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. ISIS-K does not operate throughout the entire territory of historical Khorasan, but considers it as its target area, and accordingly, recruitment occurs in Central Asia, so no wonder that people from Tajikistan are involved there. And the political perspective is also local. And currently, ISIS-K main enemy is the Taliban. Currently, ISIS-K accuses the Taliban of not being devout enough Muslims. Literally, they criticize the Taliban for not enforcing Sharia law strictly enough and being too liberal. Second, of course, is the Shiite Iran. Yes, for ISIS, Shiites are even more evil than, say, Christians, because they consider Shiites heretics and apostates. In this context, Russia is a natural enemy of this branch of ISIS. Firstly, it is now a direct ally of Iran, of the heretics and apostates. Secondly, it is effectively a partner of the Taliban, who operates in the big part of so-called Khorasan. And additionally, according to ISIS version, both the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan and the Russian intervention in Syria are crimes against Islam. Why did FSB missed this terrorist attack? If we set aside the idea that even if they haven't organized it themselves, they at least knew about the attack and deliberately allow it to happen, so that then to reap benefits of such a crisis. And if we instead agree with the version put forward and heavily promoted by so-called good Russians, that it was a total and complete surprise for them and a genuine fuck-up of Russian FSB failure to prevent a terrorist attack. So, according to this version, all of Russia's forces are focused on the war against Ukraine, including the best personnel of the FSB itself. Russia doesn't have an excess of forces and resources, therefore the country is simply not prepared for such displays of asymmetrical actions. If ISIS-K wants to continue, it will have the opportunity, or Putin will have to scatter resources. And why does Russia accuse United States and Ukraine? Well, what else they can do? Say that we've invented an enemy, spent all our resources on a war against it, and now have become vulnerable to another real enemy, which our crimes in Afghanistan, Central Asia, and Syria have nurtured. What else? No. Of course, they cannot say that. And this way, they can try to shift blame from the real culprits to somebody else. This all sounds quite logical, but it doesn't answer some questions. The police left Crocus a couple of minutes before the start of the terrorist attack. The terrorists were given time to commit the attack and leave the crime scene without any problems. The fire brigade was told to stand down and not fight the fire until the special forces conduct its operations. And the special forces did not conduct any operation until the building burned down, and they waited for more victims, apparently. There is Rosguardia compound in the vicinity. How come that they got to the place only 1 hour later? And all the terrorists were unexpectedly found in the same car they left in. They haven't changed car, they haven't dispersed. They allegedly drove towards the Ukrainian border and were caught there, not at the border, but on the way to the border, allegedly at dawn. How the car from Moscow reached that far is not specified. all terrorists, for the first time in the history of the Russian Federations, are alive after being detained, and now provide testimony about some mysterious curators who hired them. Well, that's all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your attention, and Slava Ukraini.